Ryan Bledsoe, son of Chris Bledsoe, shared this photo today of what he claims to be the lady, the entity that his dad allegedly saw, that like all the intel people are obsessed with. This is allegedly a photo of it. Let me see. What do you guys think of this photo? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. I'm gonna try and find where's that Semivan clip? Because Semivan kind of breaks it down, like why everyone's so obsessed with the lady or whatever like that. Okay, yeah, check this out. Here's Jim Semivan, alleged CIA guy, parted to the stars, talking about why Chris Bledsoe and the lady and all these intel people are all obsessed with it.
I just think they're a great all-American family, but when Chris went through, and I believe every word he tells me, and about this, and not only do I believe every word he tells me, he attracted the attention of a lot of people: DIA, NASA, CIA, other agencies. Everybody wanted to get close to him. Everybody wanted to know as much as information as they possibly can, because his experience it took in not only the classic abduction scenario, because he had missing time, right, where he had no idea what was going on, right, but he also met the entities themselves, and he also met the lady.
Yeah.
And not many people meet the lady. And I think, and the lady is an element in all of this that really hasn't been explored very much. I will tell you that in some circles, it's taken.
This is an Engaging the Phenomena interview, by the way, that he did with them
very, very seriously. But it hasn't been explored. The Catholic Church looked at it, because a lot of the sightings, Medjugorje, Fatima, Lourdes, they were all the lady appeared. None of the children that saw any of this ever claimed it was the Virgin Mary. It was just the lady. It was just a lady who showed up.
Right.
And I doubt the Virgin Mary had blonde hair and blue eyes. She was Semitic. So, and of course, the lady would lie, and the lady, would.
So what he said earlier too, I kind of was looking around for shit, but he says that all the intel people around Chris, like Hal Puthoff and Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge, apparently they're all really interested in this lady entity.
Scare the living hell out of them, and fire and brimstone sometimes lovely messages. A typical abduction scenario where these beings come to people and they tell them stories. They have a line about the environment and things along those lines, but they're generally there's a trickster element to it. There is a physical, not very nice physical element to it. There's a very strong sexual element to it.
Odd, weird, very strong sexual element to this whole shit. Odd, strange. Look at this. Look at how random shit could get in UFO land. Let's watch Chris Bledsoe and Charlie Kirk discuss the lady.
So after years of receiving mixed responses from people, you had another encounter on Easter.
Rest in peace, Charlie.
Of 2012. Tell us about it.
Yeah, that was the turning point, the change in the direction of where we were heading. For the first 5 years, it was pretty much a curse, because when I would talk about it, the whole community just came down on me, and there were people trying to take my children away. They thought I was crazy. They were bringing holy water to the house and sprinkling me and my property and my children. And I'm crying. I'm saying, look, I was praying to God. I wasn't praying to the devil. And I don't get it. I don't understand. So it turned into be a laughing stock at school for my children. They were coming home and crying. And so I got upset and decided that I'd never talk about it again. And when I did, The next experience was of this. All I can tell you, it was just the most beautiful lady I have ever seen. She came and she came in the middle of the night, and she told me, she said, this is your burden. You have to tell this. And if you will, I'll help you. I'll bless you and let you film us and let you share our presence with the world. And so help me. From that point forward, I started being able to share with others. And I have done so with the highest authorities, from CIA to DIA to U.S. The Department of Defense to scientists from different colleges and universities. And it all happened after this beautiful lady came. And believe me, I was born and raised a Baptist, right? I had no idea who some spiritual female would be. But I don't see them as aliens, Charlie. I don't see it that way. I see them as spirits, basically. It was a spiritual experience for me then, and it still is to this day. But what I can't put my...
Let's not forget, too, I like to always play this whenever the lady comes up. Fringe, friend of the show. By Bledsoe's own account, the lady, if she's real or fake, is a manipulative entity,
Darren's point about this divine feminine. I understand that the world probably feels like it's missing that balance and missing the divine feminine. And so here comes Hathor. And Hathor is wanting to fill this gap potentially. I just want to take a look at Hathor as an individual goddess and ask ourselves if we really want Hathor filling this gap. So we have Hathor. Let's just take Chris Bledsoe because he's so well known and his story is so well known. We have Chris Bledsoe, who is living a great life. And then suddenly, he's thrown into a lot of turmoil and anguish. He starts living a horrible life by just normal standards. And he's abducted by Hathor. He's missing 4 hours. His child is terrified. He sees what we would refer to as aliens. For years, he's sick, and his family, his entire family, is tormented by shadow beings. His oldest son actually moves out of the house because he's so afraid of these creatures. His oldest son is convinced they're demonic, and Chris had to keep telling him, no, 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 and he has to convince him that he's not demonic. So here comes Hathor. Hathor then tells Chris that all of that was orchestrated by her. She takes responsibility for this. She tells Chris that he made a bargain with her when he was abducted in the ship, and that he has to go through with this bargain. And if he does go through with the bargain, then she'll let him film the orbs, and she's going to provide his family with protection. Well, that's a strong arm robbery to me. That's not divine. That's not anything. I'll just put it this way. I'll just take my own personal opinion. That's not anything I want in my life. And so this is Hathor. Is this creature the one we want filling the divine feminine role? She is, her main message, and this is at the end of Chris's book, the main message is go out, pray to the universe, do CE5, and just leave yourself open, to the response. And we know that there are people in this very community, in this very room, at this very moment, who have been harmed by orbs, by CE5, by contacting, just willy-nilly out contacting in the universe, these beings, these creatures. And so we know then, just by using logic, that Chris Bledsoe's divine feminine Hathor, who also accepts, blood sacrifices, by the way, and many gods have, so that's not necessarily the only criteria, but she wants us to go out into the universe with zero discernment whatsoever and do CE5. And we know that it can cause harm to people, physical harm, psychological harm. We know you can bring home the shadow people by doing this. So that just doesn't seem like the kind of female divine entity I would want in my life. And I think at some point in the future, and probably starting right now, we're all going to be making that decision. Is this my divine feminine?
So yeah, there's, just to balance the perspectives, so again, here's the photo from Ryan Bledsoe. It says, the lady told my father in 2012, paraphrasing, the darkness will be exposed and destroyed. and the age of Aquarius will come bringing new knowledge. There will be a great deception perpetuated by a dark force that worships Satan to convince the world there is no God, that the phenomenon is aliens, evil monsters. The end game is to snuff out the light of your soul and trap you here eternally. They will not win. Light is coming. What is that last picture of? The lady taken at a Skywatch. Thank you. That is incredible. So yeah, if you're in the chat, let me know what you guys think of this photo. I mean, really hard to make out anything of what it is. I tried to like mess with the contrast and whatnot a little bit. I mean, it does kind of look like a face here. I wish he would have put more. He blocked me, by the way, if you can't tell there. I don't forget why. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. Who the hell is the other Tim Taylor, the other disclosure, the Adjustment Bureau? Now, shadow people, that's some scary stuff there. Yeah, no, I mean, it's all like the lady's kind of sus, bro. There's also this. Let me see. While we wait maybe for some things to come in or not. Did you guys know this? This is a fun one. John Dee, Aleister Crowley, L. Ron Hubbard, and Chris Bledsoe all felt they were in communication with the goddess Hathor. Fun, fun. Fun, fun, fun. Versace Vampire says, pareidolia is what the photo is. Not a bad guess. Not a bad guess. A lot of people were kind of clowning it. Let's actually see what were people saying on my post about it. Yvonne says, she looks like SpongeBob Square Woman. Okay, here we go. So under my post about it, what are some thoughts people had? Rin says, is that Sigourney Weaver? Who is the lady supposed to be, says Artisan Tony. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me, John 14:6. The deception is ironically coming from people like Chris. Doomer Daddy says, I can fix her. Dagnum PS says, how dare you assume the gender of this cloud? The Witchy UFO Girl says, anyone who insists the UFO phenomenon has only one explanation, that theirs is the only correct one, that aliens definitely aren't part of it, and that it somehow validates only their religion, is a giant red flag. Fushi says, what are they saying with the triangle sometimes up, sometimes inverted? That's kind of a long thing. I'm so sick of all the Bledsoe family. Ryan in particular is just a fucking grifter, says one kidney runner. Lord of the Ring vibe, says Limity Soul. Mo even says, could be interdimensional beings appear like this with the right camera setting. I'll just kind of stop there for a bit. Yeah. All right, one more, and kind of on the beat, which, I'm not trying to